Hey folks, welcome back to the Rock and Sea Homestead. My name is Lance. I want to welcome you to our channel. And today's going to be a Victory Garden 2020 first garden tour of the year. Getting to the point where we got to plant a lot of plants this weekend, but to start off, I'm just going to kind of run through what we have planted, what we have planned to be planted, and kind of how we're going to plant it. Then we're going to separate each of those little plantings into different videos, so this isn't just a huge video. We're going to kind of break it up for you guys. So come along and let's take a look. All right, so at the very beginning here, this is at the front of our house, and this is what we call the herb bed. So a couple of these beds we built this year, so the three big beds, we built those to plant herbs, so they kind of match up with all of our other beds. We definitely love this style of growing where it's a little bit taller, especially as we're thinking about, growing with age and how can we long-term garden as we get older, and this is just much easier to be able to grow standing up and not have to bend over and crawl around on the ground. So we definitely love this bed style. We added a couple more down there, and you see way down there in the very back, we have another one that's going to go right up here in the front. But these plants actually survived from last year. These are some snow peas or something like that. And we were going to rip them out, but they seem to be doing really good, and we just hate to tear them out. So hopefully we get some peas. Once these plants are spent, which will probably be about in a month, we'll bring that other bed up, plant some more stuff in it. But until then, these guys are going to make it, and hopefully we'll get something out of it, hopefully. Another survivor from last year, and actually the year before, is this huge sage plant. So we planted this a couple years ago when we first started gardening, and this plant survived 2 winters. And this year we actually dug it up, did some things, put it back in here, and it survived and it's thriving. So we kind of took out everything else that was in that pot, and we're just going to let that thing go and just see how far it is. We actually need to trim it back and start preserving some of that sage, because it's, like I said, it's going awesomely, and I don't know, it's one of those miracles, I think. A couple other ones that we have here, we have a couple chive plants. So we have onion chives and we have garlic chives, and these have been here the same amount of time as the sage, a couple years. We did transplant these and they're doing great. As you can see, we even have some that are starting to bolt on us, but we cut these way back this year right before we transplanted them, preserved all of those, dehydrated them, and it seems like they went well through the transplant. So we're just going to kind of see how those things keep going, and are very excited to get some more of those. And then through the rest of these beds, these are herbs. These are what Marcy wants to plant. Like I said, we got a couple more things we got to throw in here, but we did plant a couple things the last couple days that we purchased at the store. So we got some cilantro right there. We're going to do a little salsa garden. We got some tomatoes and some peppers and some onions, so hopefully we'll get some good salsa. We have some thyme, some basil, some rosemary, and this is oregano. And actually, this oregano plant actually was from these planters right over here. If you guys remember last year, we planted some lemon balm, and we planted some oregano right there, and they survived through the winter, believe it or not. And so we just transplanted them over here, and I think we're going to put flowers or something pretty on the fence there. But we just wanted to give these guys the best chance, and like you can see, they are doing fantastic. The basil actually came in from the outside, or from the inside. Marcy had a little herb garden that she was growing right in this window right back here all winter long. And so we just transplanted it outside and see if it can get a little bit bigger. And these are 3 different mint plants that we actually had from last year. So here's the regular spearmint, here's the chocolate mint, and then that's the lemon balm that was up on the wall there. So these things can take over a bed, so we're going to have to kind of really keep these things kind of contained and pull back, and we'll just see how they do in these raised beds. It's kind of an experiment to see if they can all coexist, but hey, for right now, it's looking great, and we'll see what happens with them. But so far the herb beds are doing great. Like I said, we still have one more bed to put up here, but we'll see how that works out. All right, so that's all the herbs. So now we're going to go into our main garden area, and if you guys can see, it's right behind me. Last year, if you guys are just new to the channel, we started off with these 4 beds, and we created them through our own design, kind of looked at things online and some other people's videos, and we really like this design, the tall, galvanized wood look, and it's tall, it's raised up, so you don't have to crawl on the ground, and these things are fantastic. We kind of do like a little hugelkultur kind of built in there. There's not soil all the way through there. There's some logs, tree debris, that kind of stuff. Then we have some compost that we get from our chickens and our goats. And then we put some compost that we get from the city of Norman here in Oklahoma. And then we put super soil on top of it. So there's really only super soil, probably only to about right here. And then the rest of this is filler for now. Now over the years that will break down and it all becomes soil, and we replenish and redo the soil every year, just kind of make sure we amend it and make sure it's healthy. And so far these 4, as you can see, they're growing stuff, and everything's going great with them. But we did add 2 more to the very end. Plus we added a stable of these self-wicking tubs right over here. We had one last year, loved it, and we thought, hey, let's add a couple more. And as you can see, we have 5 of them now. And this is where we're going to grow our peppers. And we'll show you those here in a little bit. Just wanted to kind of show you a little bit of what it kind of looks like as an overview. But as you can see as we're walking through here, so these are going to be our tomatoes. So let me kind of give you a close-up of what we have planned here. So these 2 beds here are going to be our tomato plant beds. So we started some seedlings. And to be honest, we just didn't do a very good job of paying attention to our seedlings. We had a lot of things going on here at the homestead with baby goats, the COVID-19 situation, being locked down, having to figure out how to deal with all that within our lives. And the seedlings kind of took a back seat. So we actually had to go out and purchase some extra plants. But hey, it's one of those things where, it didn't go exactly as planned, but we're not letting it derail us. We're just going ahead, and we got what we needed, and we're going to go with the plants we got and see what's going on there. We may actually do a couple more seedlings just for backup, just in case any of these don't make. But we're going to put 4 plants on each side, 4 tomato plants, and the plan, and this is how we had it last year. So we're going to trellis the plants up onto the trellis here, and they go up and over. And last year we had plants that were from this bed, went up all the way and went about to right here. And it was fantastic seeing this thing completely enclosed and enveloped in green, lush, and tomatoes everywhere. Hopefully we'll throw a picture up there to show you what it looked like. It was fantastic. But again, these are going to be our tomato plants. Like I said, we're going to have 12 tomato plants all together. There are a variety of paste tomatoes, sliced tomatoes, and cherry tomatoes. So in these 2 middle beds right here, as you can see, there's some stuff already planted and it's thriving over here. So if you haven't seen our garlic and our onion videos, we have a couple of them. Make sure you go back and look at our garden playlist. I'll put that at the very end of the video so you guys can go check that out. Make sure you watch this one first though. So this bed right here is our garlic. Now, unfortunately, not all of it made it through the winter. So this was actually planted last fall, and we planted some soft neck garlic all the way through here. And I think we got about 6, 7 plants that are going to survive. It's okay. It's not what we wanted, but hey, it is what it is, and we're going to go with it. We did plant some elephant garlic, so it's a huge garlic, and it is thriving hardcore. So I was talking with my farmer buddies that actually does, farms year round as a CSA locally. And we're talking about, hard neck, soft neck around here. And he said he has trouble growing soft neck as well. So, he was saying he's transitioning over to nothing but hard neck. And I tell you, I think we may do the same thing. We'll just see how this thing works out. But you can see that we're already getting scapes on some of these hard necks. So you can see right here, this little metal part, or this middle part here coming up, this is going to be a flower. For garlic, it's called scapes, and this will actually bloom and seed. But once it gets a little bit bigger, right before it blooms, we're actually going to come in here and cut it as far down as we can. and those are edible. We'll take them, eat them, and do those kind of things. Let these things bloom up. And what that does by cutting that, it helps with getting more energy down in the bulb, and you get a larger bulb. So this bed right here is our onion bed. And we've already done a video here recently. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go back and check it out, where we've actually went through and thinned this completely out. So when we planted it really thick. And we do that on purpose. Number one, we want a lot of onions. But secondly, we like to thin them out. And so we kind of take out every other row, you know, lengthwise and this way, or lengthwise and horizontally, or however you want to say it, widthwise. And what we do with that is we take those and we eat them for green onions. And you can see here in Oklahoma, you know, it has been really hot and really cold, really hot and really cold. So these onions are kind of in a state of shock right now. And as you can see, these things are starting to bolt on us. Nothing we can do. It's happening to a lot of people. I actually saw a video from Gardening with Leon where his onions are doing the same thing. And he was saying there's nothing you can do, just let them go. And, you know, it's just because the onion's not quite for sure what to do, because we've had 90-degree weather, we've had 30-degree weather here recently. And it's just one of those things where it just happens here in Oklahoma. We're either too hot, too cold, too wet, too dry. We're just one of those twofer states. You don't want the soil too dense around the bulbs. Let's see if I can get a good picture of this here. So you see this bulb right here. You don't want it too dense. So the soil is really loose around these. And that's what you want, because you want that to be able to expand. And it doesn't have to be very deep because the roots are underneath it. So we have some red onions, we have some regular white onions, and we have some super sweet candy onions over here. And we can see some bulbs already coming up way better than we did last year. We got these through a company called Dixon Dell Onions. Got them as little plants, and they have been fantastic. So again, we're looking forward to having big onions this year. So we'll give you a little tour over here of our strawberry patch. Very small strawberry patch. And these are plants that we planted last year and just kind of neglected them. But they got a little bit of strawberries. We'll get a few strawberries from them, but we're planning on making a little bigger strawberry patch this year. It's just one of those things. Later in the year, we'll do that. This is really a cold weather crop, so this is all we're going to get this year, but we do plan on making a little bit better for next year. So we'll see what happens with that. Now these two beds over here, these are brand new. So we have a lot of our seedlings that we've grown out that need to be transplanted. These are kind of the extra ones. Like I said, we did not pay very good attention to our seedlings this year. We just got super busy, and through the process of trying to harden them off and everything, they got super leggy with some of our lighting system. But by the time we knew that the lighting system wasn't working right, we couldn't order anymore because they come in from China and the COVID, you know, all that craziness and shipping these days and supply chain. We just couldn't get them going. But we do have some lettuce we're going to plant in here. We know it's really late. We're going to plant lettuce and spinach and just see how it goes. We may actually direct sow some to see if it comes up. Like I said, it's, you know, we know it's late, but we're going to get what we can get, and then we'll transition this to another type of plant later in the year. But for now, this is going to be lettuce and spinach. This bed over here, like I said, this is just some more transplants we kind of moved around just to kind of see what we had, what was good, what wasn't going to work out. And this is going to be squash and zucchini. We're just going to direct sow that. So you're going to see a video coming up shortly on how to direct sow your squash and zucchini. And that's what these two beds are. Then over here we have a mess from all of our projects, but compost, all of this stuff is going to go moved away. We're going to redesign this. We're going to put a little U-shaped area right in here for our cucumbers. And then we're going to make a strawberry patch underneath this big tree. So we're going to kind of clean up some of the limbs and kind of make this pretty. We may actually move a table and deck chairs and stuff down here just to kind of give us a little nice oasis here in the garden. So as you can see through this stretch right here, so these are all of our self-wicking, self-watering tubs. And these are just water troughs that we got at Atwood's. It's like an ag store like Tractor Supply. They're 2 foot by 2 foot by 4 foot. And if you haven't seen the video on how we do those, please check that out. Again, we'll leave a card at the very end of the video. You guys can go check that out. But this right here, this is all going to be bell peppers, banana peppers, non-jalapenos, so they're jalapenos that aren't spicy, And that's what's going to grow in here. Last year we grew tomatoes in here and they went really well, but it's super hard to try to contain indeterminate tomatoes in here just because of all the trellising you have to do. And it's, unless you have something up overhead, it's really hard to do that. So we're just going to do peppers, and I think they're going to grow really good. We're going to put 4 peppers. As you can see, we have them kind of pre-placed. We're going to plant these today, but we have them pre-placed. We're going to put 4 pepper plants, and these are going to be kind of a smorgasbord of different peppers in here. There's a 3 bell peppers and banana pepper. I think this is going to be the jalapeno bed right here, and then this one is going to be orange bell peppers. This one over here, I think this is going to be another banana pepper. So I love banana peppers. I love fermenting them, pickling them, and then using them throughout the year, so that's great. And then over here is going to be just regular bullnose bell peppers. So we are hoping that we're going to have a huge crop of peppers. We love eating those, love preserving them, and we think that's going to be a great addition to the garden right there. Just have it all right there in a row, self-watering, so we don't have to water as much. Like I said, if you haven't caught that video, go check that out. I think it's a great video, and hopefully it helps you guys garden. And you can do this on your porch, back patio, balcony, whatever. That's really all it takes right there. You can carry it upstairs to start off with, mix everything, set it all up, and then you're just good to go. Well, folks, hopefully you enjoyed the little garden tour here for our Victory Garden 2020. Like I said, it's the 1st of May. We're just getting everything in the ground, getting it going. Some things have already been in, but for the most part, it is planting time right now. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, it'd be a great time to do that. There'll be a link down here in the corner of the video. Make sure you click that and ring that bell, because then you get notified every time we upload a video. We're going to have a ton of garden videos coming out, and we're not experts. We're going to go through and we're going to make mistakes, and you can learn from us, and hopefully you guys can teach us stuff through the comments and helpful suggestions you guys have down there. Make sure you leave in comments, give us some thumbs up, all that kind of fun stuff. But we just really appreciate you guys watching the videos all the way to the end. And of course, from our homestead of yours, have a blessed day and keep growing. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye.